Amanda here from Create Your Future. Guys, I have Amanda joining me today. Hey, Amanda.
Hi, Amanda.
Hey guys, we have an exciting video. This is for anybody who's actually reacting. And, we're going to clear up some questions. Is it good to react? Is it not good to react? I think that's so incredibly important to go over because I think sometimes we think it's so important to not react and then we are reacting. So first of all, it's neither good or bad to react. It's just what's so, okay? So it's absolutely okay. And we're going to talk about what to do if you have reacted to change that behavior going forward and touch on a few other things. So really excited video. Just before we dive into this, Amanda's having a sale. She's going to be able to help you find your blocks, give you a list of intentions and an action plan to help you manifest what you want quickly. I think coaching is the best thing. I went through a 2-year intensive weekly coaching, and it's really helped to instill everyone as you pushed out in me. So all of the coaches here are trained by me to do the coaching the way that I would coach you. So definitely check out the link in the description. I can't remember. Do you have a course?
Not yet. I have a couple I've been working on, so they will be.
Excellent. Well, comment below what kind of course or affirmation track you would like from Amanda. I think that would be great. And any video ideas that you have, any questions, any burning questions that you would like answered. We're always looking for video ideas. And guys, remember, we do have a free course, How to Find Your Blocks to Manifest Anything Fast. Link is in the description. It's absolutely free. Now, it's going to help you to find out what your blocks are. Now, one thing I want to say is don't go deep diving and questioning, what are my blocks? What are my blocks? Do the work, focus on what you want, do your intentions, do your affirmations, do whatever, scripting or whatever you do when and put your energy and your thoughts towards what you want, your blocks will automatically come up. So when you do that course, you'll realize, that the block can be as simple as, say you want to be in a relationship with Jerry, you're just questioning if he likes you. That's a block. You need to change that thinking to, course Jerry likes me because everyone is you pushed out. So it's going to help you build your mental diet. Okay. So definitely check that out. If you haven't already, it's completely free. So let's dive into this, Amanda. What do they do when they're reacting? Should they stop, not stop? I mean, what are we doing?
Well, what I tend to see with the clients, and that's why I was so excited. I actually really wanted to do this video with Amanda M because a lot of the subscribers have actually used a video of hers as an example about don't reacting. And I've realized that my clients will try to just lay low, kind of like a doormat. We'll get to that later, and hold it in, not respond. And then they explode. And unfortunately, normally all over whatever SP is at that time, whether it's a relative, whether it is, SP, things like that. But you know what? The reaction actually isn't neither good or bad. It's just a reaction. We're only human. We all do it, even us. It's about what you do after with the reaction, how you handle your mental diet, how you see yourself as a person. Everyone is you pushed out really is key, as Amanda M said, with that coaching, to really get that in your brain. It really does. It just changes everything. You won't ever react. I mean, maybe a little.
Well, it's like a reaction is totally fine. There's nothing wrong with it. The important thing is that you take a look after you react to see what meaning you were giving something to make you react. Okay. I think that's the most important thing. Now, I have reacted my share of times, and you can ask Andrew. He's going to tell you I do react. I try, not to, but when I do, I make it worth it. Meaning, okay, so for instance, let's say, Jerry's late picking me up. Okay. Now it's the meaning I give it, which is going to cause me to have a reaction. Okay. So if I make it mean that he's disrespectful, he doesn't respect my time, and that he doesn't care about me, I'm going to react. I'm going to be very upset. Now, if I'm like, no, you know what? Jerry's usually on time. He just got caught up in traffic. It doesn't mean anything. It's totally cool. I'm not going to react. Okay. So like, for instance, the same thing with like a friends with benefits situation. If you're doing a friends with benefits and you're saying, or a situationship, what they call it, that, oh, he doesn't want me. He's just using me. He doesn't want a relationship. He's giving me breadcrumbs. This isn't going anywhere. I don't know. All those thoughts would make me angry too and want to react to the person. That actually just makes my blood boil right now thinking about it. But if you were to take that and look at it, like for instance, I mean, I dated Andrew for 18 months with no serious commitment. So at eight months, I could have at any time said, oh, we're friends with benefits, but we kind of were because nobody talked about anything. But then I took it as no, in my mind, I said, no, this one's different. We are dating and we're having this friends with benefits because this is leading into a relationship. That's where this is leading, a committed relationship, and that's the meaning I gave what we were doing together. And that didn't want to make me, react, right? So the meaning you're giving something is what makes you react. So when you have a reaction, totally fine. Just go back and look at what meaning was I giving that situation that made me react, okay? So you always want to see the good in other people, okay? If you sometimes, like Andrea will say something a certain way and I'll react, okay? And then I'm reacting not because of what he said, but the meaning I'm giving what he said, right? And then when I turn around and look at, okay, no, Andrew loves me. He would never say it that way. He would never mean it that way. It's like, oh my God, I'm sorry for even, accusing you of that in my mind and reacting, right? But it's okay if you do. Just remember that if you want to, make progress in your situation, you need to change the meaning you're giving with it. And reacting is a really good way to gauge what meaning you're giving something. Okay. So after you react, just review it. Why was I reacting? What meaning was I giving it that was making me upset? And then go, okay, is that really the meaning for this situation? If it is, then you can leave the situation. And if it isn't, and you don't want to create that, then you need to change it, right?
Exactly, 100%. If you're giving what is a bad negative connotation, you're going to start going that way versus saying, you know what, this person chooses to spend time with me. This person is messaging me. They want to hear from me. They want to talk to me. That means there's something more here and we're building something together. Actually, there's a funny time where I actually chose to react. I remember being very aware because I was upset and it was a very baby one. But I also give everyone as you pushed out that, he realized that, oh, okay, maybe he listened to the words and felt empathy for the reaction. And I chose that very specifically. And I did actually say, I apologize. I reacted. That's on me. And he apologized as well. I'll get clients that'll say, I know exactly how I created it. And I know exactly what they're thinking. And I'm like, well, just switch it to the way you want it to be. Like, just flip your pancake over.
Yes, I love that. You know what? Yeah, you react, you intend, they take responsibility for their part and they apologize. You can do that too. You can play this out any way that you want. One word of caution, which I know I've heard many people say that this could be a block for them, and it probably is because everyone as you pushed out, never blame everything on yourself, because if you do, everyone's going to blame everything on you. And it's not 100% you. Your responsibility as, the broadcasting tower of your reality is to hold people up to what you want, to the standards you want. So you need to intend that they take responsibility for their half and they apologize. And they always take responsibility for, how they show up in the relationship, right? You need to be 100% there, and you need to intend they show up 100% as well. It's not 50-50. It's 100 on both sides, right? I think that's incredibly important, and if you want your relationship to change, don't see them as not wanting a relationship with you. That will make me react too. You need to see them as wanting to be with you. You have a choice. When I was just dating Andrew in the beginning and it was friends with benefits, I could have seen it as breadcrumbs and been all upset about it. Or the way I looked at it was that it was turning into a relationship. Of course he wanted to be with me. I'm freaking amazing. Who wouldn't want to be with me?
Exactly. And if you're having problems flipping that story or seeing it another way, what are you actually reacting to? What is feeding that negative story and bringing you the other way? Take care of that limiting belief and bring your mental diet up so that you have the story that you want. So you have the ending that you want. It does turn around very quickly.
Exactly. And it does. What I love doing is a mantra. Mantras help turn around everything so quickly. Everything, right? So, use your reacting to your advantage. Okay. So if you're reacting because it's just friends with benefits, they said they're not ready for a relationship. Well, then you say, look, I intend my SP, or say their name, right? My specific person is ready for a relationship because I'm good enough. and it's going to happen. It's going to happen now. You know, I intend, you know, like for instance, you don't feel like you're prioritized. Then you say, I intend my specific person, Jerry, prioritizes me. That's what's happening. That's what's happening now because I'm good enough, you know, and stay on your mental diet. You know, I never understood my whole life what those monkeys were that were hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil.
Yes.
Well, you know, that's it. If you don't want, you know, negativity in a relationship, don't make anything mean the bad negative thing. You know, if you want to see, it's really important, you know, that I've learned in this journey, and I thank you all for it, this journey of having create your future and being able to interact with so many people and the subscribers and everybody, is that I've learned that you've always got to see the best in people, because if you don't, you're just going to see it come right back to you, and have fun with that.
Absolutely. You're a creator. You can create. But
yeah.
you see people as genuinely good, no matter what is happening throughout the day in life. You know, everybody's fighting a battle. Have empathy. I literally talked about that with my last client. Have empathy for what they're going through as well. It's a give and take, and allow that person to see you the same way, just like I said with my SP. And I started to go down that rabbit hole, and I lost my initial point. Actually, but the real point is that the mental diet, if you're judging the scenario and feeding that scenario with every time something shows up, that it means, oh, this negative thing, or that negative thing is back. How did I create that? Well, you're doing it right now. You're feeding it right now. Stop doing about face. Get on your mental diet. Start doing your affirmations until it's like a song in the backtrack of your head, and get it going. You don't need to go crazy, but you need to get it through that, you know, these things are actually leading you to a good place. These things are actually happening to bring you closer to your manifestation. And a lot of times you'll see people bubbling over like a boiling pot of water, with the hot and cold taking place together, because they won't let go of the past to fully get into that future. And if you would just stop right then, focus on the mental diet, you could have everything you wanted in a nice little bow without the hot and cold bubbling. Easy.
Exactly. You know, yeah, exactly. You know, we create our own reality with our thoughts. The only thing we need to do is get on top of our thoughts. Use, you know, whatever techniques that you feel like work for you. I think that's the most important thing. Some people like scripting, some people like courses. I mean, I always watch like LOA videos to ground myself. I think that's I've got a few ones that I like to just go back to that really resonated with me, you know, and, you know, what do you need to do to get yourself in that? Everyone is being pushed out every day. You know, sometimes it's like, you know, just remembering some of the manifestations that you've had, you know, do that little list. These little things are also going to help you to, you know, to maybe react a little bit less, but really dissecting why you're reacting is that's gold. You reacting is gold. Okay. That's telling you right there what your biggest block is, because everything that you're seeing in your 3D reality is what's programmed into your subconscious mind. That's what's reflecting back to you. Those are your previous thoughts. Okay. So if there's something that's triggering you in your 3D, that's where you're going to find your most powerful affirmation when you flip that pancake, right? So amazing.
Absolutely. And you'll feel so good, and you'll be able to continue. So like Amanda M said, go reach out to your coach, reach out to our videos, to our community, not to the people of the 3D. We're going to tell you, you know, and feed that other side of you. Pick up Goddard and do some reading, and know that you're only human. We all react, but it's what you do with it after. And of course, we're not saying go ahead and go overreact or anything like that, but just don't feed it negative, or just make it positive, turn it around, and everything will be okay.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much for being here today, Amanda.
Thank you too. Have a good day, everybody.
We'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.